Hello and welcome to the farm and welcome to my craft room in my 1902 farmhouse. Today we're going to be working on block 45 for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along. This is the crossed ripple stitch. So grab your supplies and let's get started. We're going to make block 45 with color B. For me that is gray. We're going to go ahead and start with a slip knot and get that onto our hook, leaving yourself a nice long tail to sew in later. We're going to chain 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26 and 27. Row 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain across. So not counting the loop on our hook, here's our first chain, here's our second chain. We're just going to start placing single crochets in every chain across. When we get to the end, we'll have 26 single crochet. I'll meet up with you there. 25, and don't forget your last one right here. 26. Let's move on to row 2. Now you're going to have to really pay attention to your stitch count. This is a little bit of a tricky pattern. For row 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. We're going to skip the next 2 single crochet. This chain 3 here counts as a double crochet for this row. It's connected to this first single crochet here, so we're not going to count that one. We're going to count the next 2, 1, 2, and we're going to place a double crochet in the next single crochet after that. So right here, a double crochet. Chain 1. We're going to go backwards and we're going to go right back here to this very first single crochet that we skipped, and we're going to place a double crochet in that stitch. So just kind of go backwards, go in through that stitch, make sure you get both the front loop and the back loop. If you just get one loop, it pulls funny, it doesn't look right. Make sure your stitch is kind of loose. You don't want it to be too tight because your work's going to pucker if you do. Now here we've crisscrossed these 2 double crochet with a chain in the middle. We're going to do that all the way down our row here. So according to our pattern, we're going to skip the next 2 single crochet. Don't count this one. This is where your first double crochet is. We're going to go over here, 1, 2. In the very next one after that, we're going to place a double crochet. Again, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop for each stitch. We're going to chain 1. This gives us a little wiggle room. Don't forget the chain 1s. Going backwards now, we're going to go to the very first single crochet that we skipped in this series right here. We're going to place a double crochet in that stitch. It makes you kind of work around the double crochet that you've already placed. And there we've got our second little crisscross, and these will really start to pop once we get farther into our pattern. Continuing on, we're not going to work in this single crochet because it already has a stitch in it. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet in the next right here, a double crochet, chain 1, don't forget your chain 1, they're important, and then a double crochet in the first single crochet that you skipped, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop when you put your hook through that stitch. We're not going to count this one because it has a double crochet in it. Skip 1, skip 2, right here to the very next one, a double crochet. Chain 1, going back to the first single crochet that we skipped, place a double crochet, working around that first double crochet that you did. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet. Chain 1, going back and placing a double crochet in the very first single crochet that you skipped, working around that double crochet that was already there, creating a crisscross. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, go back to the first single crochet you skipped, working around that double crochet that you just put in, and complete another double crochet, creating a crisscross. 1, 2, double crochet in the third, chain 1, going back to the first single crochet we skipped, working around that other double crochet, placing a second double crochet. One more time, skip 1, skip 2, a double crochet in the third, chain 1, go back to the single crochet that you skipped, and complete a second single crochet for that crisscross. You've got 1 stitch left here at the end of your row. We're going to go ahead and place a double crochet in that stitch. Let's remove our hook and take a look here at our work. This is going to be a very dense, squishy, thick yarn eater square, I can already tell. This is the back side of our work. Let's turn it over and you can see here we've got our crisscross action starting, not real defined, but when we get our next row in, the definition is really going to pop. So let's move on to row 3. Hey, are you enjoying putting together all of the beautiful heirloom sampler blocks for our heirloom Afghan crochet along? If so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlist that has all of the videos for every block for our crochet along, and be sure to share the video with your friends that like to crochet. Okay, let's get back to our project for this week. For row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to single crochet in each double crochet and in each chain 1 space across. We'll end up with a total of 26. This is our first stitch here, so we're going to place a single crochet in that stitch. This is the top of our double crochet. It gets a stitch. Right here is where we have this chain 1. We're going to go into this space and place a single crochet. Right here is the first crisscross double crochet of that series. So we have a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We've hit all 3 of those. Continuing on, we have our next crisscross here. We have a double crochet, a chain 1 space, and a double crochet. There are no chains in between our crisscrosses. So right here is our next double crochet. We're going to place a single crochet in there. Then we have a chain 1 space, a single crochet in there. Then our next double crochet, a single crochet there. So there's those 3. Moving on to our next crisscross, we have a double crochet, chain space, double crochet. So a single crochet in that first stitch, a single crochet in the chain space, not the chain but the space, and a single crochet in that last double crochet of that crisscross action there. We're going to continue this all the way down to the end of the row. If you find that you come to a place where you forgot to put in a chain 1, you got to take it all out, go back to that spot and fix that. It's kind of crucial to your count. We're here to our next little crisscross. We've got a double crochet, chain space, double crochet. So a single crochet into the top of that stitch, a single crochet into the chain 1 space, and a single crochet in the top of that stitch. Moving on to our next crisscross stitch, we have the double crochet, chain space, double crochet, single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet into the chain space, single crochet into the next stitch. Working on these 3, single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the chain space, single crochet in the stitch. Here's our next crisscross, single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the chain space, single crochet in the stitch. We've got one more crisscross stitch left, single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the chain space, single crochet in the top of the stitch. We're here to the end of our row, and our chain 3 from the last row counts as a double crochet. So we're going to place a single crochet in the top of that chain 3 stitch right there. And that completes row 3. This row provides a little bit more definition for our crisscross. On both sides you can kind of start seeing it pop out there. But wait until our next row. Things are really going to come together now. For row 4, we're going to chain 3 and turn 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. We're going to skip the next 2 single crochet. Again, this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. It's connected to this single crochet right here. We're going to skip the next 2, 1, 2, and we're going to place a double crochet in the next stitch right here. Don't get ahead of me, things change up. There's our double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to place a front post double crochet around the first double crochet we worked down here in row 2. So finding our crisscross right here, the one that's on top, that's your second double crochet. Remember, we kind of worked around this first one? This is our first double crochet of this crisscross. We're going to place a front post double crochet around this crisscross. So yarn over loosely, go down here and wrap around this double crochet, going in from the front, across the back, and out the front again. This is the post of that double crochet. Yarn over and pull your yarn through and give it a really nice tug so it kind of comes up here to the level of your work that you're on row 4. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now we've got crisscrosses happening all the way down here. As this row comes together, you're going to see how pretty it is. We're going to skip 2. Don't count the one that this first double crochet is in. 1, 2, placing a double crochet in the next. So a double crochet right here. Chain 1. And we're going down here to this crisscross. We're going to place a front post double crochet around this double crochet right here. Here they crisscross. The one on top was the second one we put in. The one on the bottom was the first one we put in. Yarn over, go all the way down and wrap around that double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And here the crisscrosses are really starting to come together. Skip 1, skip 2. Remember, don't count this one. 1, 2, double crochet here in the third. Chain 1, don't forget those chain 1s. Going down here now to this crisscross. Here's our double crochet that we worked first. Yarn over, go around that post, grab your yarn and pull it back through. Give it a tug to bring it up to the level of row 4 where you're working. Complete that double crochet. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet right here. Chain 1. You really want to watch your tension with this block because you don't want this to turn into a big old curl. Make sure your tension is nice and firm but loose. So we have our first double crochet into chain 1. We're going to go down here to this crisscross, find our first double crochet, and complete a front post double crochet around that stitch. Skip 1, skip 2, place a double crochet in the next. Chain 1. Going down here to this crisscross, finding our first double crochet of that crisscross, pull that loop through, give it a nice tug to bring it up here to the level of row 4. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Continuing on, skip 1, skip 2. Here's a double crochet in this third. Chain 1, finding our crisscross in the row below, and going around that first double crochet, with a front post double crochet. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet in the third. Chain 1. Don't forget those chain 1s in between. Here's our crisscross, finding our first double crochet below and completing a front post double crochet. Skip 1, skip 2. Here's our third, completing a double crochet, chain 1, going down here to our crisscross and a front post double crochet around that first double crochet. We're here now to the end of our row. We're going to place a double crochet right here in this very last single crochet right here. Make sure you get both the front loop and the back loop on that. Now taking a look after we've completed row 4, now you're really starting to see the crisscross pop out here. Really, really pretty. On the back, not so much. But on the front, this will be your front side. You can really see the crisscross action. Let's continue on with our block. We're going to now repeat rows 3 and rows 4 until our pattern reaches the size of our other blocks, approximately 7 inches square. I'm going to go through this with you one more time, and then I'll leave you on your own until we catch up at the end. But for now, we're going to repeat row 3 again. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to single crochet in every double crochet and every chain 1 space across for a total of 26. Remember, we're going to start right here in this very first one. Here's 1. Here's our crisscross. We've got a stitch, a chain space, and a stitch. So single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the chain space, single crochet in the stitch. Here's our next crisscross. We're going to single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the chain space, single crochet in the stitch. Now you may be saying, how do you know where the chain space is? It's hard to see. It is a little difficult to see, but just let your hook find it. We know that there's a stitch here. We know that we have a chain here, so just poke your hook through. It's going to find that chain space naturally. And then your second double crochet of that crisscross right there. So we have a stitch, a chain space, and a stitch. Keeping your tension nice and loose. Here's a single crochet in the stitch, in the chain space, and in the stitch. Stitch, chain space, and in the stitch. We've got 2 more crisscrosses left. Here we go with one in the stitch, a single crochet in the chain space, and in the stitch. One more time, a single crochet in the stitch, in the chain space, and in the stitch. Here we have this chain 3, this counted as a stitch. Go ahead and place a single crochet in the top of that stitch. So we've completed row 3 again. We're going to complete row 4 again. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turning our work. We're going to skip the next 2 single crochet. Remember, this chain counts as a stitch. It's connected to this single crochet. Skipping the next 2, 1, 2, placing a double crochet in the third. Chain 1. Going down here to this crisscross that we made here, we're going to find our first double crochet right here. And we're going to front post double crochet around that double crochet. Skipping 1, skipping 2, a double crochet in the third. Chain 1. Going down here to this crisscross, finding our first double crochet, and completing a front post double crochet. It's a little easier to find the double crochet after you get this established because this one's a front post, this was just a regular double crochet. It stands out much easier. Skip 1, skip 2, a double crochet in the third. I'll show you how that works. Chain 1, don't forget those chain 1s. Going down here to our next crisscross, this is our front post. Right here's our first double crochet we worked. It's easier to spot now. Complete a front post double crochet. This is going to start coming together really quickly now. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet. Chain 1. Going down here to our crisscross, here's our first double crochet. We're going to complete a front post double crochet. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet, chain 1. Don't forget those chain 1s. I keep saying it, but it's so important. All the way down here to this double crochet, completing a front post double crochet. We've got just a few more to do on this row. Skip 1, skip 2, double crochet, chain 1. Going down here to the row below where this crisscross is and grabbing that post of that first double crochet, completing a front post double crochet there. Skip 1, skip 2, here's 3. Chain 1, going down here to this crisscross, finding that first double crochet and completing a front post double crochet. Almost done with this row. Skip 1, skip 2, here's our third double crochet. Chain 1, going down here to our crisscross and finding our first double crochet, completing a front post double crochet. We've got 1 stitch left here at the end. We're going to go ahead and place a double crochet in that last single crochet. Let's remove our hook and look at our work. You can really see the crisscrosses starting. This is going to be a very beautiful block when we're done. It is a yarn hog, though. I hope I have enough yarn to complete this block today. I'm going to go ahead and continue repeating rows 3 and rows 4 until our block is approximately 7 inches, and I'll meet up with you there. I'm finishing up the last row of single crochet for this block, and it is curling on me. It's just one of those things, and I don't necessarily need to block it. Once I get my border on it and get it attached to our blanket, I'm sure we'll be fine. Coming up here on my very last single crochet, and I'm just going to chain a couple so I can remove my hook, and let's take a look at what we've got here. Okay, look at that beautiful block. Now, while you're doing this, of course, our gauge is going to be different and individual for each of us. However, I do want to note that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows of our cross ripple stitch. I finished with a single crochet row because we started down here with a single crochet row. Now when we add our border all the way around, it'll have an equal amount. So let's take a look at how this measures up with one of our other squares. Very close. By the time we get our border on, everything will be good. So go ahead and complete your edging for round 1 in the same color. Then finish off and do round 2 in your edging color that you're going to do for your entire blanket. Then there's only one thing left to do. Get yourself a tag. Mark this as week 45, the crossed stitch ripple, and then set it aside to be put together with the rest of your blocks when we're ready to put our Afghan together. Well, thank you so much for joining me here in the craft room. I certainly do enjoy having you here. Until I see you next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.